Hello again, everybody. So I hope you all had a lovely Christmas, under the circumstances, obviously, and Happy New Year to you all. I know it doesn't necessarily seem like much of a Happy New Year, what with the new variant and everything else that's going on, but, you know, there are positives. We do have vaccines and things are sort of progressing. We are making some progress. I know it's not going to be an instant thing. We've still got a bit of time. It's going to take a few months or whatever to get everyone vaccinated and to put things in place, and these things don't just sort of sort themselves out overnight. We are obviously dealing with something which is beyond what most of us have ever seen in our lifetime, so it's going to take a bit more time before we're back to any kind of normal, so we do just kind of all need to hang on in there as best we can. But I wanted to make a little video today. Obviously this is the new year. It's a lovely day, so I've come out. Wanted to make a little video just looking back on 2020 and also looking into the future. Not necessarily just looking at the negatives. There are a couple of negative things, but I'll also be looking at the positives that have happened, because although for me personally, 2020 has been challenging, just like it has been for everybody, because we've all been affected one way or another, there have been a lot of positives as well. So I wanted to sort of go through those, and obviously I hope you guys have managed to find some positives in your year as well. I know a lot of people have had it a lot worse. Some people have lost loved ones and things like that. It's incredibly sad and very difficult time, but hopefully there's at least some positives in your life so that you can focus on. So yeah, let's go into it and sort of look back on 2020. So beginning of the year, I actually handed in my notice. I actually sort of handed in my notice in January at my job. Left my job that I've been at for 4 years or so. Some of you guys who have watched my earlier videos will know that I actually started at this company in its infancy and built my department from scratch. I actually built it up and made a quite a good success of it, really. But I decided, I wanted to leave England. I wanted to move to the Czech Republic to be with my partner, to start a new life and live a different way, because the way of life out here is much more in tune with the way that I wanted to live, and my general, my personality and everything else just fits over here more. So obviously I wanted to do that. So yeah, I handed in my notice. Said goodbye to what I'd created effectively, which is difficult. It was difficult because when you have created something from scratch like that and you just sort of walk away from it, it's not necessarily an easy thing to do. But as I say, it was kind of for the greater good in my case. So I did that, and shortly after, February time, I moved over here, which obviously was incredibly exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time, because moving to another country is always challenging and everything else, especially when you're moving somewhere where you're not fluent in the language. I mean, I have been learning. My Czech back then was incredibly basic. It still is quite basic now. I've learned so much since I've been here, but I still consider myself to be very, very low level when it comes to learning the language. So it's quite a scary prospect. Happily though, obviously I had the support of my family and my wonderful partner and her family, who have been absolutely amazing. They accepted me into the family straight away. They're such loving, caring people, and they've been so supportive as well, which has been absolutely brilliant. And then yeah, so I was here, and in actual fact, so when I first moved over here, my partner was living in Prague because that's where she was working. So we actually moved to Prague, and I was there when lockdown started. So that's the first thing. So I went, right, left my job, left the country, moved to another country, and then within 2 weeks of arriving here, the pandemic properly took hold effectively, and lockdowns started occurring. And so we were locked indoors, and that was challenging, because I went from being, working full time to basically being stuck in the flat doing nothing every single day. So I filled my time with, well, it was difficult at first, because when I first moved over here, most of my stuff wasn't with me. So I had my iPad, I had, you know, clothes and stuff like that, but I didn't have my computer, I didn't have the bike, I didn't have anything like that. So, you know, the first couple of months was really challenging, because it was literally just stuck in the flat, wasn't allowed to go out unless it was to go to the shop for stuff that we needed. So it really was just Netflix and chill 24/7, really, which, you know, sounds great, but you know, when you're used to being active and then suddenly go to not being active, it can be quite difficult. Took some getting used to. So that was, it wasn't too bad, but you know, that was a bit of a pain for the first couple of months. So then, after that, the lockdown eased slightly. I managed to get a van to bring all my stuff over. So, you know, you guys obviously know I've got the bike, I've got, you know, my computer and everything else. So I was able to at least have all of that. And then we moved down, well, I say moved to the northeast, to be closer to where my partner's parents are. Mostly because Prague is obviously relatively expensive. It's pretty cheap, like by UK standards, but it's obviously relatively expensive for here. So, and also I'm a country boy. I've never really been much for living in the city and stuff. So, you know, we wanted to move out to the country. We wanted to, you know, because obviously we were expecting our daughter, so we wanted to be out here for her to grow up in the countryside as well, and obviously be close to family, because we've got quite a big family sort of down here as well. So all of those things, we moved out here, and then after that, obviously August time, my daughter was born, and you know, that was just the most incredible experience of my life so far. Bit of a cliche, I know, but it just is. You know, it's one of those. It just was absolutely amazing. So she's been with us for 4.5 months now. We're, as I say, it's still difficult with the virus and everything, because, you know, lockdowns are tightening again now. It's not as bad as last time. Like, I can still come out for rides on the bike and stuff, but, you know, all the shops are shut, all the schools are shut, all that stuff. It's, you know, it's still really quite a pain in the backside. I think the biggest thing really is just that I've not been able to see the English side of my family as much as I could have done, because originally when I moved over here, the plan sort of was that, you know, I would and moving forward to the future, the plan is that I will come back to England a few times a year, you know, do some bits and bobs, visit people and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, because of the travel restrictions and that, I've not been able to do that, and I don't, you know, there's a couple of times I could have come back, but I didn't want to risk it just on the off chance that I might not be able to get back here to be with my family. So obviously, you know, that's kind of a sacrifice I've had to make, because, and likewise, my mum and other people would be able to come over if it wasn't for the restrictions. My mum actually did come over, so the restrictions around August time when my daughter was born were actually relaxed, and my mum was actually able to come and visit, and she was with us when my daughter was born. Yeah, so as I say, that was fantastic. So, you know, she was with us, and then yeah, obviously she went back, and the restrictions were harder again. Obviously, you know, we are lucky in this day and age. We do have, you know, technology, video calls and stuff like that. So I've been able to keep in constant contact with all the members of my family. But, you know, it's just I've not been able to actually physically go see them or anything, or they come see me. So, and then the other thing, so we're actually, and this is sort of looking forward into 2021 now, we're supposed to be getting married or we're going to get married in April. But even though things are looking up, even though we have vaccines and stuff, I still don't think that come April time things are going to be relaxed enough that people will be able to come over for the wedding and stuff like that. So I think it's looking like we're going to have to, you know, postpone that to 2022 just to be on the safe side, because, you know, things might be okay by that point, but I just can't guarantee it. And, you know, it's one of those sort of sod's law things. If we try and push to get it all done this year, chances are something will go wrong and it'll all get messed up. Whereas if we're just a bit more patient, you know, neither of us are going anywhere. We're not in a huge rush necessarily. We want to be married, but, you know, it's something that can wait, and probably is better if it does. So, you know, that's that. So yeah, obviously, overall my 2020 has been relatively positive. Yes, I've not been able to see my family. much. You know, yes, I've had issues with work as well, because, you know, trying to get work and things like that when you have the language barrier and you have the coronavirus issues is difficult. It's not been impossible. I have managed to do a few little things, and we have, you know, we're working around it, but, you know, I've not been able to do too much work, and it is difficult. So obviously, you know, there have been a lot of challenges, but as I say, I have overcome a lot of challenges as well. I mean, moving over here, or going through all the bureaucracy and stuff of trying to get my residence permits and that, which I've got everything now, and of course I registered the bike over here as well. If it wasn't for a very helpful company in Hradec, I probably never would have done it, because over here, even the most simple tasks, like you'll go to the office and they'll say, right, you need this document and this document, and then you'll come back with those documents and they'll say, oh yeah, but you also need this document, and it's just such a faff, it really is. So, you know, I've had some guys helping me out with that, and they've been absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, overall, I'd say, despite the negative side of things, 2020 for me personally has actually been a relatively positive year. I mean, I can't obviously complain when a lot of people out there have had a much worse time than I have. And, you know, I've got my daughter and I've got everything else. I've done really well this year, just, you know, maybe not financially, but in every other aspect of my life, you know, I'm happier than I've ever been. So I can't really look back and honestly say that it's been overwhelmingly negative. There's been a lot of positives in it, and moving forward and looking forward, you know, that's obviously set to continue. I hope to continue that. You know, obviously as things start to settle down and we get control of things, you know, it'll be a bit easier to find work. It'll be easier to you know, get out and do more stuff, go back to England and visit family, all that kind of stuff. And obviously, as the weather gets better, I'll be coming out on the bike more, doing some more bits. I do have some plans in mind of things I want to do, some more sort of exploring. I want to show you guys some more historical stuff around here, sort of more about the Czech culture and you know, monuments, history, all that kind of stuff, as well as, you know, other bike related stuff. You know, you'll notice I've got the original exhaust system back on the bike. I will talk about that at some point in a later video. I'm not selling it or anything. It's nothing to do with that. It's something else. So, you know, I'll do some more, you know, maintenance stuff, things like that. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. And yeah, hopefully you guys all have fantastic things to look forward to as well, or at the very least you can look forward to it not being quite as bad, because yeah, as I say, there are a lot of people out there that have really suffered this year, and for those of us who haven't, who have been quite lucky, I think it's important to remember that there are people out there who have had a much worse time. So, you know, if you have had a relatively easy time of it, be very grateful for that, because, you know, it could have very easily been very different. So there you go. I think I'll leave the video here, because otherwise I'll just keep droning on for hours. But as I say, hopefully you guys do have a fantastic new year and things improve for you and everything else. And obviously I hope to see you guys in future videos. As always, if you did like this video, please do give it a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. Go check out my other videos. There's over 100 videos on my channel now, and, you know, I plan to make many more. So hopefully you'll find something that is interesting or entertaining for you. I have also, I should mention, got a Facebook page for the channel now. You can head over there, and I'll be using it to do like updates, things like that. Also, there's the option of messaging me if you have any kind of questions or maybe suggestions on what kind of video content you'd like to see in the future, things like that. Obviously, constructive stuff, you know, if you're just going to send negative comments, things like that, then they will be ignored. I'm a fairly positive person. I can't really be doing with people's negativity, just not interested. But yeah, if you've got some positive ideas or positive comments, please do go over to the Facebook page and, you know, send me a message or comment or anything you want to do. It's absolutely fine. And for now, guys, I'll catch you all again soon.